Hi, Chris McCoy. Welcome to Memphis Flyer Podcast. Every week we jump on here and tell you what's going on in the city, what we're covering in the paper. And today I got Mr. Alex Greene and we got Mr. Greg Cartwright here to talk about Riverbeat.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Alex has the cover this week. Talked to a whole bunch of folks. Tell them what you learned, Alex.
Oh, man. It's like a grab bag of all these performers with some connection to Memphis. And first and foremost, which you may not have guessed, is Public Enemy, who, yes, they're coming to Memphis. They're going to be at Riverbeat Saturday night around 8. And so I spoke to Chuck D, and he had a lot to say about Memphis. It was really impressive.
Oh, I can't wait to read that, man. I had no idea there was a Memphis connection.
Yeah. Well, aside from all the Stax samples,
Right.
He really is a historian, and he spoke about that at length. How when he wants to know about a place, he digs deep.
Yeah.
And he was, kind of infamous in the 80s, probably around Memphis. You guys can tell me more because I had just moved here. But when he said, Elvis was a hero to most, but he didn't mean shit to me.
Yeah.
And I thought that line was like thrilling. I love Elvis, but it was like
I loved that line because it had it almost felt like a double meaning, because when you say Elvis was a hero to most of us, you are including yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you turn around and say the opposite. So statements like that in music always interest me. Like it kind of leaves a door open in a way.
Yeah, yeah. And he expounds on that line, actually. He's like, in the third verse of that song, I didn't even ask him about it. He came like ready to talk about that.
Right.
And he reminded readers that was part of the film Do the Right Thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that film was about heroes and the disparity of heroes, as he puts it, between black and white artists. And he said, okay, no more than Elvis, no more than John Wayne. We need to address this disparity,
Right.
and he kind of was saying, it was a move lyrically that fit the film, that evoked the spirit of the film. But he did go on at length about the greatness of Sun Records and the incredible black artists that Sam Phillips brought into the world of the public at large. And he was giving shout outs to all the folks at Stax, of course, and Sun, and Boo Mitchell at Royal. And then he revealed a book he's about to put out, which he calls a Naffic grovel. But it's his kind of a graphic novel depicting his encounters with great legends of music and politics.
Oh, man.
So
A true historian, man.
yeah, really. And there's a great double spread of his visit to Stax. And he gives a shout out in that to Deanie Parker in particular. He's a big fan of Deanie's. So
Very cool.
Did you get to see Public Enemy when they played at Beale Street Music Festival in 2012?
I did not.
I didn't.
One of the best sets I ever saw on the river, for real. I think 2012 was a great year because that was also the Stooges reunion year. Cameron, booked that year, and it was to me it was one of the best years. So I'm super excited to see PE come back. And so who else did you get to talk to?
Well, I had a great talk with Bobby Rush, and of course, he was a blues guy from Arkansas, but he talked about coming to Memphis and hanging with R.L. Burnside, and everyone was drawn to Memphis from when he started in the 50s on because of Beale Street and everything. And he talked about R.L. Burnside in particular because he's doing a kind of showcase the Royal Blues showcase with Bobby Rush, who lives in Mississippi now, and then Dwayne and Gary and another of the Burnsides. There are a lot of Burnsides out there from the hill country.
Yeah.
And also Kenny Kimbrough, Junior Kimbrough's son.
Oh, wow.
So
And Kenny Brown maybe is involved too.
he's not listed on the marquee stuff, but that might be true as well. Yeah.
I figure people just going to show up.
He's really tight with the Burnsides, Kenny Brown is.
Yeah.
So and Bobby Rush, was very eloquent about the differences in his approach to the blues versus the North Mississippi sound, the North Mississippi hill country blues players being kind of more droney.
Yeah.
It's more about the drone, the hypnotic groove that just goes on. And Bobby was like speaking admiringly of that, but how that's different from both the Delta blues and the Chicago blues. He kind of embodies both, depending on whether he has an acoustic or an electric guitar. So that was great. And then I talked to Brad Schultz of Cage the Elephant. And it was really a fun excuse to get into their catalog, which I had not before.
I know nothing about them.
Well, they're from Bowling Green. And so, kind of kindred spirits as being, a Southern rock band. But very early on in their career, the whole band picked up and moved to London. And
wow.
That was like, that kind of shock to their system, I think, spurred on their creativity.
Was this before they were signed? I'm just curious. That's an expensive move.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I think. They may have won some prize that involved a trip to England.
Them going there.
Something like that.
Just don't come back. Sounds pretty good right now, doesn't it?
Yeah, really. But I've been especially digging into the album they did with Dan Auerbach, which is really great and just full of, some of it's kind of retro 60s, a lot of it's kind of Pixies-esque. Some of it's, as I say in the article, they're fans of both British invasions, from the Beatles to Blur. And so he talks about that and the fact they're going to be opening for Oasis this summer on their
wow, that's a
their
big
world
slot
tour.
to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
And so that was fun to hear about from Brad. And then finally, I speak to DJ Zirk, who was one of the OGs in the 90s who developed what came to be called crunk or trap. And he talks about that, developing it. And it was interesting to me because he talks about that sound and the Memphis rappers as being opposed to hip hop. Now, I just think of it all as hip hop.
Right.
But, to him, the hip hop was the East and West Coast sounds that, they kind of battle for who was dominant. But
You found something for the Middle Coast.
Right, exactly.
Mid-coastal.
And they were going for something kind of defined against the dominant sound of hip hop at the time, and they hit upon a recipe for that. And according to Zirk, it all came down to that bass, or as he put it, boom boom in the trunk. Yeah, and so.
Poetic.
Yeah. And he went on about how that was a defining feature of the Memphis rappers and producers like himself and DJ Squeaky, bringing a much heavier bass, even heavier than Miami or Atlanta, and slowing it down and just creating that kind of spooky.
Spooky's a
cinematic.
good word.
Yes. Well, there was the horror rap scene was kind of brewing at that same time.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's kind of a lo-fi element to it all as well, which is interesting to me because there was a lo-fi scene going on in the rock world here too, right around that same time.
Yeah, just the other side of town.
Yeah.
We were doing up there.
Yeah.
2 slots before Public Enemy on Saturday are the Hypos and the Bud Light stage.
Right.
And that's why we got Greg here.
Yeah. So psyched to see you guys live.
Oh man, I'm excited to play.
You know, thinking about it, it struck me that the Hypos is a great summer band. Like, this is a great showcase for you guys with your
I couldn't agree more.
Summer sound.
It is like a real earthy kind of sound, and it's probably more so than any other band I've ever been in. It's like a feel good vibe. So I think I think that's totally on point. Like, it is a great kind of summer outdoor band, you know, something on an outdoor stage for a summer festival. It works probably, in my mind, better than any other band I've ever been in.
Yeah, for a festival scene.
Have you ever, did you ever get to play Beale Street Music Festival, or have you ever played on the river before?
I have played down there for festivals before, mostly in the 90s. I think I was building stages down there. But yeah, I have, but it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, awesome. We're super excited to see you.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. What can we expect?
Well, so tomorrow we start recording with Matt Rossbang over at his Southern Groove Studio at Crosstown Concourse for our second album, and we have 2 days to record, and then on the 3rd we're playing at the Riverbeat Festival. I think we play at 3 p.m. on stage 2, and so we're gonna have a little mix of stuff from the first record and then stuff that's that we're recording for this second album. And it's pretty buoyant, bouncy type rhythms. There's not a lot of straight ahead rock going on in this band. It's more folk and samba beats and reggae, and I mean it's maybe more akin to world music than anything I've ever been a part of. And a lot of that is the band. Like, I bring what I can bring as a songwriter, and then everybody else fills in the rest of the space. And the co-songwriter is Scott McMicken, and he was one of the lead singers for Dr. Dog, which was a band that really peaked like in the 2000s, right? Kind of like as Rating Sound was cresting or whatever. Like, they were an up and coming band and have continued. I mean, they're still. They about a year ago, or I guess maybe about 3 years ago, they decided not to tour full time anymore, but they're still making records and stuff. So this is a little side project for me, post Rating Sound, and him as Dr. Dog is kind of lowering their public appearances and stuff. It gave him a little more free time to do side projects and stuff. So it's a little thing that we've been working on, and it's been incredibly luxurious to have a band that you don't have to give all of your day to it. You know, like, he can do his thing, I can do my thing. We kind of float back together, come up with some songs, and then just keep touching base occasionally, which is something I've never really experienced before, and I'm way into. Just because the life of a band is usually you love doing it, and you spend every waking moment with each other, and pretty soon you hate each other. and I'm trying to avoid that. And right now this outfit seems to work out pretty good. Is not rubbing each other too hard from just like trying to do too much.
You should also mention the great vocal harmonies that this band involves. It's
Totally. And that is
5
mostly
great
that comes
singers.
down to the other singers as well. We got great singers. I'm kind of a croaky old man and kind of do my thing over the top. But actually, being in a band with other people who are great singers and really know how to harmonize has taught me more about harmonizing. I think I lived in kind of a lead singer world for a long time where I just did my own thing, and I could kind of weave around or change where I was singing the song. Now I have to think a little more about that. you know. So it's given me a little more structure too. But yeah, they're all great singers, and they all have really unique sounding voices too. So in that world, my voice fits in pretty good because I don't have a great voice, but I have a unique voice, so that it really works.
So Krista Roten is still on this
Krista's still
record?
playing violin, and Kevin is our bass player, and then Evan on drums. And we actually have our friend Steve, who's a great keyboard player. He was going to come and play keys on this record, but he was unavailable because stuff was going on with him. But yeah, it's the band has filled out pretty nicely since we made the first record, which was almost sort of like an experimental type thing of like bringing in people and making this thing and bringing in people for overdubs and building it. And now it feels more like a real band that can actually travel and reproduce the songs very in a very predictable way now. And in the beginning, it was just kind of, we weren't sure how it was going to work, or even if it would ever be a touring band. It might just be a recording project.
Well, who else are you excited to see? Are you going to be able to? Oh, okay, you're recording on Friday.
Unfortunately, I'm
Yeah.
gonna see whoever I can see on Friday.
Missy Elliott's Friday night, and honestly, except for you, this is the thing I'm most excited about. I saw a little bit of the live stream from Coachella, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I was always a huge Missy Elliott fan back in
Same.
the day, and she never toured really a lot. And supposedly we are like besides Coachella, we're the only other people who are getting like the full stage experience on this tour, and it was spectacular. So I'm super excited.
How
about
lucky
that.
are we, man?
I know, man.
Yeah,
It's great.
totally.
I'm super excited about that, and hopefully like you were saying, the weather looks good.
Yep.
Too.
Yeah.
So far,
So far. How about you? Who else are you excited to see?
Well, I gotta say, I'm kind of focused on Public Enemy, and the big $64,000 question is: will my bandmate Kari Wynn, who I play in Deep Staria Enigmatica with, will he jump on stage with them? Because he was their musical director for Public Enemy for like 20 years. A lot of people don't know this.
wow.
But he's an ace guitarist as well as a bass player, and that was mainly his role in Public Enemy. Kari started around 2000, I believe, 2001, and right up until before COVID, he was touring with them.
Wow. I've met him before, and I can't remember if it was with you or when he was playing with somebody, and I met him. And then you told me afterwards that he used to play for a Public Enemy. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
And he's such a great player.
Yeah.
Never seen him play guitar, but I saw him play bass, and he was incredible.
Yeah, he's amazing.
That show y'all did, the Deep Staria did with Steve Hirsch last week was just amazing. Seriously, it was exactly. LJ and I were there. We were in the back on the couch at the green room. That's what I love about the green room. You could grab that couch spot. You can just like splay out, and it was just great.
How great is the green room?
I know.
Yes, 3 cheers for the green room.
Three cheers for the green room. It is one of my favorite places to see a show in town.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something where you really want to get that deep listen. It's the right place.
Yeah, and to play.
Yeah.
They're great to the artists. They have
And
a
you can
Steinway.
see it. I mean, almost every artist that I've seen there, they always comment on the experience of doing it before they get off the stage, and they're like, "This is incredible."
Yeah. I would be remiss not to point out that tonight, this is the 30th, right?
Yeah.
Tonight is the wrap up of Jazz Month in the Green Room. And the great Gary Topper, who's a brilliant saxophonist who's been around Memphis forever, his group Symmetry is playing tonight at the
there you
Green
go.
Room. And
If you don't have plans leading up to Riverbeat, there you go.
yeah, exactly.
I'll probably be able to get this online about 30 minutes before showtime. So, right. Anyways, well, y'all, we're looking forward to it this weekend. Greg, break a leg.
Thanks,
We'll see
Ben.
you downtown. We're going to be covering the festival all weekend. I'm going to be running around it with cameras, and I might shove it in your face if I see you down there. So, this has been the Memphis Flyer Podcast. Chris McCoy. We'll see you next week.